Conflict and frustration. Conflict. Definition. Conflict means a painful emotional state which results from a tension between opposite and contradictory voices. Douglas and Holland. Conflict. This is general when two sides have some kind of opposing ideas about something that affect both sides, taxes and welfare, time spent together versus time working for economic gain. There will always be some kind of conflict in our life. The key is to find a compromise where both sides can get some of what they want. It is usually impossible to get all of what you want unless you agree to fall on our sword this time, hoping for a full chance next time around. Compromise, negotiations, open communication. Types of conflict. The conflict between person and person. Conflict between a person and his environment. The conflict within a person. The conflict within a person's of motives, desires and impulses is called internal conflict. Types of conflict. Approach conflict, avoidance conflict, approach avoidance conflict and multiple approach avoidance conflict. This is approach conflict. This images forces with two attractive alternative explanations. There are two courses that you want to take, but they are scheduled for the same time. This is explains one person's like to the two courses, but that person selected any one that time. Easy to resolve but become serious if the choice of one alternative means the loss of an extremely alternative attractive. Types of conflict. Avoidance conflict. A person faces two understandable situations and avoidance of one forces exposure to the other. Very difficult to resolve and credit intense emotions. For example, a woman trying to choose between continuing and unwanted pregnancies and getting the abortion done. Approach avoidance conflict. One event or activity has both attractive and unattractive futures. The result is the continuous oscillations between approach and avoidance, creating a great deal of emotional conflict and stress. For example, to marry and not to marry. Approach avoid. Multiple approach avoidance conflict. A choice must be made between two or more alternatives, each of which has both positive and negative futures. This is most difficult to resolve. Analyze the expected values of each course of action and then take a decision. For example, a person may have the alternative of accepting any of two jobs, of which one may be boring but a very good pay, while the other may be interesting but with a very poor pay. Frustration. Frustration is the conditions of being upset in the satisfactions of the motive. Carroll, 1967. Frustrations. Man's behavior is motivated and goal-directed. Most of his behavior are even considered as a quits strivings for the satisfactions of a large variety of motives. Frustrations. Sometimes, however, he experiences some problems, obstacles and hindrances along the way. In cases like this, he becomes frustrated. Frustrations refers to the denial or upsetting of a goal-directed behavior. Thus, if we want something and cannot have it, we experience frustration. Sources of frustrations. Sources: background stressors, physical environment, socio-cultural environment, personal inadequacy. Physical environment. Physical environment is a major source of frustrations. In it, opposite forces or events we cannot personal control but otherwise affect our very lives. Social cultural environment. This perception is experienced by a man who cannot marry someone he loves but belongs to another religion. Personal inadequate. Whether imagined or real, personal inadequate prevents a person from meeting a need for self-esteem or need to attain goals. The feeling of inferiority is an imagined sense of personal inadequate that may come in form of personal handicaps like blindness or inferior intelligence, internal or personal problems, physical defeat and abnormality, mental deficiency, conflict in desires, moral values, and high level of aspiration. This is background stressors. These are minor irritations we experience every day. Daily irritates may not record may of coping, but they may fill off into very strong stressors. Daily traffic, noise, neighborhood, and long daily travels are some examples. Thank you.